33. Lives lost, entire towns swallowed, and Hat Yai battered by the heaviest rain in 3 centuries. These extreme flash floods ripping through Thailand right now aren't just another disaster, they are rewriting the record books. Millions of people have been forced from their homes in a matter of hours. How did a single surge turn thriving neighborhoods into open water, and could the next wave be even deadlier? The full story begins here. Official numbers from Thailand's Department of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation confirm the scale of this unfolding disaster. At least 33 people are dead, and more than 250,000 families have been forced to evacuate across southern provinces. In Hat Yai, the city at the epicenter, entire neighborhoods have disappeared beneath water rising more than 2 meters high. The government has declared Songkhla province a disaster zone. Main roads, markets, and even the international airport have been paralyzed by the floodwaters. Railway lines linking Hat Yai to the rest of the country have been suspended, cutting off vital transport and relief routes. Rainfall records have been shattered. Over 600 millimeters fell in just 3 days, the highest total measured here in 3 centuries. The Thai Meteorological Department's senior meteorologist describes this as a once-in-a-lifetime event, driven by an intense northeast monsoon colliding with a powerful low-pressure system. The result is relentless rain that overwhelmed every barrier. Millions are now affected, with damage spreading across city centers, tourist areas, and rural districts alike. Emergency crews are working around the clock, but the scale of inundation means thousands remain stranded in their homes. Official statements warn that the numbers may rise as rescue operations continue. These are not isolated pockets of flooding. Entire administrative districts are submerged, and the crisis is far from over. Aerial footage sweeps over Hat Yai, where city blocks vanish beneath a vast expanse of brown water. The grid of streets has dissolved into a patchwork of rooftops and treetops, with only the highest points breaking the surface. Cars, once parked in neat rows, are now scattered and half submerged, some wedged against concrete barriers by the force of the current. In the distance, entire neighborhoods are cut off, no way in except by boat or air. On the ground, rescue teams navigate narrow channels between houses, their inflatable boats packed with families clutching bags, documents, and the few possessions they could save. Children are lifted through windows, elderly residents steadied as they climb from flooded doorways into waiting arms. The water moves fast, swirling debris against fences and storefronts, tearing away the last traces of normal life. A collapsed road splits a main thoroughfare, the jagged asphalt dropping away into a torrent below. Emergency crews in reflective vests direct traffic away from the edge, waving in headlights that cut through the rain. Along the market district, stalls are swallowed by water. Plastic chairs and fruit baskets drift in the current. Signs hang at odd angles. By late afternoon, the daylight fades behind thick clouds, but the work does not stop. Portable floodlights cast harsh white beams over rescue scenes. Sirens echo in the night as boats continue their rounds, searching for anyone still stranded upstairs or on rooftops. The city's rhythm is broken, replaced by the steady pulse of coordinated rescue, each team a small beacon in the darkness, moving from house to house, street to street, as the flood's grip tightens. Radar images from the Thai Meteorological Department reveal a dense, stationary plume of moisture stretching from the South China Sea across the Gulf and directly over southern Thailand. Over 72 hours, more than 600 millimeters of rain fell on Hat Yai, a volume not seen in this region for 3 centuries. Animated accumulation charts show color bands intensifying hour by hour, with the heaviest rainfall concentrated in Songkhla province and radiating outward. This was not a passing storm. Instead, an unusually strong northeast monsoon collided with a deepening low-pressure system, locking a corridor of saturated air over the city. The result was relentless, high-intensity downpours with almost no break between bands. A hydrologist from the Royal Irrigation Department explains that these conditions create rapid, repeated bursts of convection. Warm, moisture-laden air rises, cools, and condenses, unleashing torrents of rain that overwhelm the capacity of local rivers and streams. The atmospheric setup acts like a conveyor belt, delivering wave after wave of precipitation. Meteorological models confirm that the interaction between the monsoon and the low-pressure trough was the critical trigger, turning seasonal rain into a catastrophic deluge. The science is clear. This was an extreme but explainable convergence of weather systems, documented in real time by radar and satellite data. Floodwater did not simply pour in from the sky. It stayed, Hat Yai's drainage system, already stretched by decades of rapid growth, was designed for a fraction of this week's rainfall. As rain hammered down, water surged through the city's maze of canals and pipes, but the network could only handle about one-third of what arrived. With every hour, the system backed up. Rainwater pooled in the streets, then rose past curbs and doorways, outpacing the pumps and overflow channels meant to keep the city dry. Blocked catchment areas made things worse. Years of construction on former wetlands and low-lying fields left nowhere for excess water to soak away. Concrete and asphalt replaced natural sponges, funneling runoff into a handful of overburdened drains. Maintenance records show many channels clogged with debris, plastic, and silt, neglected until the water had nowhere else to go. The city's warning system lagged behind the pace of the flood. Forecasts predicted heavy rain, but alerts did not reach all neighborhoods in time for families to move vehicles or secure belongings. Within hours, entire blocks were cut off. The limits of Hat Yai's infrastructure were exposed, not by a single failure, but by a chain of weak links: design, development, and delay, each compounding the disaster that followed. On a rooftop above what used to be a quiet neighborhood, a woman clutches a plastic bag filled with medicine and documents. She speaks into a rescue worker's phone, her voice trembling. The water came so fast. By morning, the first floor was gone. We waited for hours. My parents, my children, everyone up here was just hoping the boats would come. Official records now count more than 250,000 families forced to leave their homes across southern Thailand. In school gymnasiums and hastily set up shelters, lines stretch out the door as people register for a place to sleep. Some carry nothing but the clothes they wore when the river broke its banks. Others bring sacks of rice or bundles of bedding, all that could be salvaged in the rush to escape. A farmer from the outskirts of Songkhla stands ankle-deep in water that covers his paddy. Every seedling is gone. This was supposed to be the harvest for the new year, he says, pointing to a field where green shoots are lost beneath the brown flood. Government estimates now list over 30,000 hectares of crops destroyed in just 3 days. At the edge of an aid queue, families wait for bottled water and dry food. The faces in line are tired, but each carries a story of sudden loss, a home left behind, a season's work erased, a future now uncertain. Thailand's Department of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation issues a new advisory. Heavy rainfall is forecast to continue over Songkhla, Pattani, and Yala for at least the next 48 hours. Landslide warnings are in effect for hillside communities, and evacuation orders are expanding to cover additional at-risk neighborhoods. The department urges residents in low-lying and river-adjacent areas to move immediately to higher ground, and to avoid all non-essential travel. The Royal Thai Navy has deployed amphibious units and large vessels to Hat Yai and surrounding districts, supporting ground teams with airlifts and supply drops. Helicopters circle above isolated rooftops, relaying coordinates to rescue crews navigating submerged streets below. Emergency shelters remain open across the southern provinces. The latest updates are posted on the department's public portal. For immediate assistance, residents are directed to call the National Disaster Hotline at 1784 or the Songkhla Emergency Line at 074-31-2444. Official donation channels are now active through the Thai Red Cross and the Ministry of Interior's Relief Fund. All citizens are urged to monitor local broadcasts and the Thai Meteorological Department website for real-time alerts. The next 24 hours are critical. Every hour brings new risks, and also new waves of coordinated relief. As rainfall records shatter and evacuation orders expand, climate extremes turn disaster into the new normal for millions in Thailand. Every storm now tests the limits of preparedness. The next surge could be closer than we think. Stay vigilant and share your thoughts on what resilience should look like.